and on and on and on the backing track goes, and apparently the camera switching is not working. Hey folks, how you doing? Nick Jennison, it's the Monday Guitar Show. Welcome back. It is, of course, Monday. We are doing the thing, what we do on Mondays, which is hang out and chat about the guitar. Today, we are discussing all things ear training related. Now, we're not talking about strapping little weights to your ears, although I have come straight from the gym. So, first of all, be glad that you're not in this room because I'm a little bit sweaty. But also, we're not talking about that. It's on my mind, but it's not on my ears. No, we're talking about how and why, more importantly, you should develop your musical ear, your ability to recognize pitches, recognize notes, chords, rhythms, all of the above, but also some slightly deeper and more philosophical stuff beyond that, which I think is going to help you become a better guitar player. If you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. This is a stream that we do every Monday. We don't do this very stream, but we do streams like this where we chat about topics that will make you a better guitar player. And we take pride in the fact that every stream we have folks leaving just a tiny bit better than they were last time, or maybe a lot better than they were last time, or maybe just entertained for the duration of an hour. Hey, listen, it's great to have you. If you're one of our returning streamers, welcome back. It is lovely to have you on board. We're going to say hello to you guys in just a second. But first of all, a little word on last week's stream in case you missed it. We had a great hangout with Dave Simpson. It was super, super fun. Dave is a great guy, lovely player, really, really nice person, right? We had a long conversation before and after the stream. He's the best, just really great dude. It was lovely hanging out with him. If you haven't done so already, you can check that stream out on the appropriate YouTube channels for the two sponsors of today's stream, which are, of course, our usual sponsors: Guitar Interactive Magazine, licklibrary.com. Go to guitarinteractivemagazine.com for news, reviews, interviews, all the best in gear, all the best in the latest happenings, feuds between, Taylor Swift and Dave Navarro. I don't know. Who knows? I don't keep in touch with that stuff, but I do keep in touch with the gear. A new issue has dropped very recently. We've covered all sorts of really cool stuff, including, but not limited to, this killer new Fishman preamp pedal, a dream. I've been using it with my Fishman Power Bridge, which I had to take out of this guitar because I had to fit it to another. So this guitar has the original bridge back in. I've put the Power Bridge in another guitar for a project, but it's sounding really, really killer. We also have interviews with the likes of Paul Gilbert. Super cool stuff. You can check that out at guitarinteractivemagazine.com. For your lesson needs, go to licklibrary.com where you will find today's sponsored course. We are, of course, talking about ear training for the practical musician by none other than Lick Library heavyweight Levi Clay. Levi is back with some lessons for us. We've got some guided practice lessons coming if they're not out already, but we also have these two ear training courses. These are absolutely killer, and it sparked off the discussion that we're going to have over the next couple of streams. I think we have 3 streams together where we're going to talk about this stuff. We have 2 courses from Levi: ear training from the practical musician and ear training for chords, which is something very few people talk about. How to recognize chords, how to recognize notes within chords. It's great stuff. I'm not even going to begin touching that stuff because Levi teaches it so well. It's all available on licklibrary.com, and the link is down below. So if you're not a Lick Library member, maybe today is the day that you take the leap and you join us over there on the red side. Also, let's not forget, we've also just launched all of the Andy James Academy lessons, right? And I literally mean all of them. So the Andy James Guitar Academy is now part of licklibrary.com. You'll find all of the lessons available there as part of your membership. It's a super exciting time to be a Lick Library member. We are dropping new courses left and right. We've got some more guitar essentials coming. They'll be with you fairly soon, if I'm not mistaken. We've got a whole bunch of them coming. We've got some of the pathways into various aspects of guitar playing. We've done a few courses recently that are really exciting. We've got one on the subject of picking. We've got one on the subject of fretboard visualization, both from myself. These are 2 courses that run in parallel. They're going to be available very soon as part of the membership, and they allow you to basically choose your own adventure, where you get to pick whether you want to do it in a month or whether you want to do it in 10 days. How quickly do you want to get there? Think about it like a fitness thing, where if you decide you want to get in shape for your summer holiday, it's coming up in 2 weeks, you're going to be working out a lot, but you'll get some great results. If, however, you just want to get fit over a long period of time, you want to lose a little bit of weight, feel a bit healthier, that's where the longer course comes in. You can fit this in as part of a busy schedule. It's really exciting for me to deliver these in 2 different ways for you guys, and we've got all sorts of subjects coming up for that. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're discussing ear training. But before we do, let's say some hellos to the guys in the stream. Marcin is, of course, the first one in the house. Lovely to have you on board. Always great to have Marcin on. Awesome stream last week, Nick, says Marcin. I agree, right? Dave was a total delight. Lovely guy. Had a lot of fun hanging out with him. If you guys are into these hangouts, by the way, let me know, because we'd love to do more of them. And if there's somebody you'd like to see, I mean, don't say like Eric Clapton. I don't think he's coming on. But if there's somebody who you think might be interested in coming on, who you'd like to see, let us know. We'll see if we can make it happen, right? Because you never know. We've had some great guests. Met Jared James Nichols over at Guitar Summit after having him on these streams a couple of times. What a gent. He's enormous. Absolutely huge. This guy's like legitimately 6'5". So I'm 6'2", right? I'm not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination. And Jared, I look like his girlfriend. Like, it was just like huge. Not his actual girlfriend, but you know, like that's what I look like in the photos for sure. And the first words he said to me when I met him was, "Wow, hey, it's great to meet you. You're bigger than I expected." And I'm like, yeah, about that. Great guy. Lovely, lovely dude. So we love doing these Hangout streams. We'd love to do some more of them. Timothy Appling is in the house. Lovely to have you on board. PJ is in. Helmet Strap is tuning in. Fog Cornish is here. Sacred Godslayer is in. And Van Gogh did, in fact, have a strong ear. You have a strong ear, is what people used to say. He has one strong ear. The other one, not so much. Craig and Tom is tuning in with some new gear. Blackstar Amp 3. We love the Blackstar Amp stuff here. It is killer. Hoping to get some of that in for review in Guitar Interactive magazine. A couple of my students have these amps, and they're turning up to classes with these Blackstar amps, these little guys, and plugging them into the effects return of whatever's in the studio, or they're plugging it into a cab, and it just sounds brilliant, right? And it reminds me every time I'm there, I'm like, I should take one of my Victory V4s in, because I'm at the mercy of this Fender Champion or whatever the hell we're plugging into, and my students sound better than me, and it's a good situation if you've got them there. But if they just turned up sounding better because the tone is better, something is amiss. But yes, also PRS EG2. Love a bit of PRS EG. I've got mine over here. This is my EG4. Now 4 is not like double 2. It's just like another one of these, but PRS EG is really cool. The precursor to the Silver Sky. It's the same body shape. Mine is HSS, but they came in all sorts of different configurations. EG2s, super cool guitars, right? I'd love to know what year it is, right? If you can, because they only produced them for a couple of years. I think it was like 89 to 91. I think mine's 1990. I could be wrong, might be 91, or I may have had my dates wrong, but it's like a 2-year window, so very cool, very limited guitars, not super highly thought of, but I think they're tremendous. They're really great, and I think you made a good choice there. Kim is in the house, just got off the phone to Kim. It's good to have you on board, good to see you again. Long time no speak, actually very short time no speak. Kim also came to us, came to Guitar Summit with us. It was cool, we had a good time, we ate lots of meat. Cowcat is here. Timothy Appling is feeling some serious rain in Florida, so yeah, wishes and good thoughts go out to our brothers and sisters in Florida who are dealing with some extreme weather, man. You guys get absolutely battered with that stuff. So stay safe. Hope everything is fine where you are. We're going to get the back end of it, but it's going to manifest as just some wind and rain. We'll be fine. For the first time ever, the Northeast is not going to get absolutely abused by whatever weather system is going on in the North Sea. We're actually going to be fine this time. Thank heavens, because I'd quite like my house to stay above sea level. Anyway, Ergo Hogg is tuning in. Great to have you. Debman Doogie Van Dugerson is here. Mike Seedorf is tuning in. Lovely to have you with some lovely compliments. Appreciate that, man. Very kind of you. Sam Junior Music is tuning in. Raphael or Raphael, I have not decided on which one yet. We'll get there. Tuning in from Mayan Territorio, says Nick's tutorial on fretboard knowledge changed how I'm trying to learn these out. Well, that is super kind of you, man. I really appreciate that. Great. I'm really pleased with that course, right? It really took a lot of doing, but I'm super pleased with how it came together, and I'm glad you're getting some good results out of that, man. That's really kind. Thomas Ross is tuning in from Montreal. Paco Jastorius is tuning in. My favorite part is the beginning when Nick goes crazy. I'm just trying to stay afloat early in the stream. You know, I've been warming up, and then away we go. Wicked Open and Licks, says Timothy Appling. Very kind. Very, very kind. You guys are super sweet. Supernatural 9R is tuning in. Great to see you too, my man. Who else do we have? Mal Riley is here. What else we got? Mr. Nick, that electric guitar you're playing seems a little smaller than a regular sized guitar, this one is actually a little larger than a regular sized guitar. This is my Maybach Convair. It's just that I am large. I'm a big person. Not as big as Greg Koch. Greg Koch, 6'8". Holy moly. I'm a full 6 inches shorter than Greg Koch. So for reference, just to show you the difference, this is my buddy John's Les Paul. This is my Maybach Convair. It is slightly, line them up, the Convair is actually slightly larger. This one, which one am I holding? This is the Convair. Slightly larger, but also, bizarrely, very slightly lighter, which is interesting. It is chambered, but it's chambered in a very interesting way that the Maybach boys insist improves the resonance. It's very loud unplugged, so something must be going on there. Who else do we have? Susan's tuning in. We miss you, Susie. You can watch as much as you want, right? Susie's normally outside when we're watching, but we miss you. We'll see you maybe next week, hopefully. Who knows? Who knows? Who else do we have? Marcin saying, stream Alex with Alex Hutchings. Oh, that would be tremendous. I'd be nervous. He's so good. Steve Ford is in the house. Riff Ryder is here. Mark Knopfler's not up for it. Who knows? He has a house around the corner from my studio. Literally, I could walk it, right? And we know which one it is because it's got a very big Mark Knopfler Range Rover out the front. So maybe I'll go knock on his door and, you know, be escorted rapidly to the police station. I won't do that, but it would be nice if you did. He's a Geordie boy. Maybe you will. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Sting too. I can dream. A boy can dream. Anyway. So, folks, it's great to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get into the meat of today's session, which is ear training. And this is the first of 3 streams. So this is not the comprehensive one. This is just the beginning. We got all sorts of good stuff for you over the next couple of weeks. But we're going to begin today by discussing the why, the benefits of having a good musical ear, and hopefully get you guys jazzed up for learning how to improve your ear, which we'll do a little bit of today too. Now, your musical ear. Your ear is to a musician. This is an analogy I'm going to draw now. Your ear is to a musician as your eye would be if you were a photographer or a painter. We talk about photographers having a great eye, if that makes sense. A great eye. What does that mean? Think about a painter, think about a photographer, an artist, who knows, a director, having a great eye. The great eye refers to their ability to perceive things in a visual field, things in a shot or things in a painting or on a canvas or whatever that are aesthetically pleasing and that are beautiful. Their ability to recognize this stuff, but also their ability to conceptualize this stuff ahead of time. Your ear is not just a reactive thing. It's not just your ability to hear something and recognize. And this is something that took me a very long time to get my head around, because when I was at college, ear training was delivered very, very dryly. Not in the best possible way, I can't imagine. It was a lovely guy, right? We won't say who, we won't name names. Local keyboard player, tremendous musician, outrageously good. But my very first ear training lesson, I sat down on my jazz degree, lesson number 1, Monday morning, day 1, 9 a.m. And I've already traveled for 2 hours to get to this college because the bus is not so great. And we sit down and he says, hello everybody, plays a note on the piano, and then plays another note and went, what was that? And I'm there going, piano? Don't know, man. And he's going, no, it was a minor third. How can you possibly not know it was a minor third? I'm like, I don't know. And I kind of got in my head that ear training was this thing where you go, I will learn to recognize pitches. And I'm like, what's the point in that? I know what to play. I know my scales. I know how to alternate pick. I can play Paul Gilbert licks. I've got tab. I know how to read that. What's the point in learning? What's the point in developing my ear? I'm not interested in that. I'll maybe come to that later in life. Well, past me. Ear training is not just that. It's not just your ability to hear sounds and respond to them and recognize them and decode tunes by ear, all that sort of stuff. It is that, but it's not only that. Your ear is also your ability to conceptualize music before you play it, or conceptualize music and then compose it, or conceptualize music and respond to it and react to it. We're going to do some small tests, first of all, right? Some small tests. And this is for you guys out there that have a tuner with you. So if you have a tuner, go grab a tuner, right? Go grab a tuner. If you're listening on headphones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to plug your guitar into the tuner. If you're not plugged into the tuner already, plug your tuner in. We're going to do some bending accuracy stuff, right? So first things first, let's do some bends together. We're playing in the key of C, and I'm going to teach you this lick very quickly, or this bend very quickly. I'll turn my delay off because the delay is going to get a little bit annoying. Don't want delay. Too much delay. That's better. We're going to practice bending from B flat up to C on our B string. 11th fret, up to the pitch of 13. That's our bend. I'm going to throw a backing track on, and we're going to see how accurately we can do this by listening. And once we've done this, I'm going to encourage you to put your tuner on, turn the backing track up nice and loud so you can't hear the guitar, and we'll see how accurately you can bend. Now, here we go. Let's begin with some bends. We're going to go like this. Pretty on the money, I think. Also on the money. Also on the money. Also on the money, a little compensation. A little bit of an adjustment, but we got there. Right. You guys do this with me. Do this bend with your guitar out loud so you can hear it. Sounding good? Hopefully that's working. Now, we're going to engage the tuner. Turn your tuner pedal on. I'm going to do the same. I've got my tuner pedal down here. And we're going to bend without looking at the tuner pedal and see if we can muscle memory our way into this bend, right? And we'll expect you probably can't. So the trick with this is we'll execute what we think is the bend without hearing our guitar. So you have to turn the backing track up nice and loud. If you're wearing headphones, listen up nice in your headphones. Or just pick quite softly so you can't really hear it. Do the bend, and then see what your tuner says. So I'm going to go here. It's about a quarter tone flat. I'll go again. That one's on. That one's about a quarter tone sharp. That one's another quarter tone sharp. That's flat. It's about a semitone flat. Quarter tone flat, etc., etc., etc. I want to know your results from this, right? Let me know if you've passed the tuner test with your bends. I have not. And I'm quite proud of my bending accuracy. I feel like my bending accuracy is quite good. What this little test serves to highlight is that if we can't hear what we're playing, we can't be expected to play it well. We can't be expected to produce the results that we want if we can't hear what it is that we're playing. We are in a constant circle of playing, listening, and reacting. We play, we listen, we react. We play, we listen, we react. Here's another little thought experiment for you. How many times have you been playing and you found yourself not listening to what you're playing? You just play on autopilot and suddenly it turns to nonsense. It turns to, maybe it gets scrappy in a way that it wasn't prior. Maybe things just kind of come apart at the seams a little bit. This is quite common. Now, the role of your ear as a guide to your physical technique on the guitar cannot be overstated, right? If you've ever sat and warmed up on the guitar for a show where you haven't been able to hear the guitar, you will know how alien it feels, right? You will know how bizarre it feels to sit and play the guitar without any auditory feedback. So this should show you that the ability to hear what it is we're playing is very, very important, but as is the ability to anticipate what it is that we're playing, our ability to audiate. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do a little experiment where we play something, and we're going to see if you can play something from rote instructions, where I give you a series of instructions and ask you to play. Here we go. Sarah Godsler says, funny stuff, I can tune my guitar without only one string, but my bending is a little bit flat. There you go, right? Bending or a little bit flat. So this is interesting, right? It's because when you take away your ability to hear, you take away your ability to do things like bend and tune, right? It's because this is not a purely muscle memory thing. It is, but we are responding to a sound. We make a sound and we respond in real time. This is why the ear and allowing your ear to guide your playing is really, really crazy important. Super, super important. Now, this experiment, I am going to give you a series of notes to play. Right, a series of notes to play without instruction of how it should sound, right? The notes are going to be as follows. We will play, and this may be a little tricky, but we'll see what's going on. We're going to play, let's make it something difficult. Let's go 13 on the B string, then 10 on the G string, 11 on the B string, and then 8, 8, 8 on the B string, G string, D string. I'm going to say that again. B13, G10, B11, B8, G8, D8. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Beep, 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 beep. Right? We don't know how it's going to sound. We're going to try and play it consistent like this. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. I'm going to put it on the backing track. That's our rhythm. That's our rhythm. We're going to go like this. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Okay? We're going to try playing that again. Beep, 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 beep. Did you get it? Is it working? What about if I do this? If I say, we're going to play. And again, we'll go. Now we'll try. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. One more time. We go. Play it with me this time. And again. One more time. Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? When we have our aural reference, when we have something that we can hear along with what we're playing, it makes executing this otherwise quite tricky lick significantly easier. Significantly easier. Here's the deal. Here's a deal. It's not the deal, but it's a deal. I spent quite a long time practicing some very arduous exercises that were sent to me by Nick Harrison, who is he's like a puzzle master with this sort of stuff. He devises these crazy exercises that are ludicrously challenging. What I found as I was learning these, by the way, let me know in the comments how you got on with that example. Let me know how you got on with that stuff. Was it easier when you had a chance to hear it? Right? Even though we had a couple of runs at it, was it easier when you heard it? I'm willing to bet it probably was. Now, regarding these exercises, when I got my ear around these exercises, when I figured out what they were supposed to sound like, it all became much, much easier to play. Much, much easier for me to play because my ear was able to guide my fingers. It was able to guide me into going where I was supposed to go. Now, this all goes back to this business that we've talked about several times over with books like The Inner Game of Tennis. If you haven't read this already, by the way, this is something I'm a huge fan of, and I'm talking about this quite a lot on the stream, is the book The Inner Game of Tennis, The Psychology of Sports Performance. And this sort of like sound language is a language that you, the doer, if anybody's not familiar with the concept of this book, let me surmise it very quickly. There are two yous. There is the you I'm talking to you right now, and there is the you that is currently stopping you from falling out of your chair, that is operating the system of levers and pulleys that is your body, that's holding the guitar up, that moves this finger to where it's supposed to go. And that you is not very good at language, but that you is very good at sensations, it's very good at sounds, it's very good at these reactive cyclical processes that we're talking about, like where we listen and we respond, which is why the bending works when we can hear it and we focus on the sound and the tuning intonation of our bending. It's why when we focus on the notes we're playing and hearing the sound we want, it's easier for us to play. Now, this should all go some way towards, I guess, encouraging you to work towards your ear. We will give you some tidbits today on how you can improve your ear, some tools you can use for improving your ear and your ability to audiate and your ability to listen and to respond. Paco Jastorius says way easier with the ear. Can confirm. Right, can confirm, definitely. Now, it's a tricky lick, I understand, but it's tricky on purpose because I wanted to give you something that is weird and that's maybe unusual to play. Let me give you another. Here's a fun thing that can be quite difficult to play, right? We're going to do one of the Nuno licks. This is my favorite Nuno lick, if anybody's unfamiliar with this. It is it's one of the licks from Get the Funk Out that everybody tabs wrong, right? Incidentally, you want to learn Get the Funk Out, we have classic albums, Porn and Graffiti, available on licklibrary.com. Sam Bell did that and it was tremendous. Absolutely crushed it. Some of the best playing I've heard out of Sam, and believe me, I've heard some good playing out of Sam. So, the lick in question sounds like thus, right? And it's not exactly, this is not an exact rendition of the Porno Graffiti lick, but you'll get the gist. We go like, let me turn my tune off. Lots of fun. Fluffed it a little bit there, but it is an awful lot of fun. Now the lick in this case, in the key V, it's kind of an E dominant thing. And what we get is this. We get this little 3 and 3 fret spread, if you want to call it that. It's all revolving around this E minor pentatonic. The top two strings being 15, 12, 15, 12. And then a major pentatonic layered over top. If you've seen the John Mayer pentatonic equator lesson, it's like playing both at once. So we play 12, 9, 12, and 9. Now what we do with this is we play a descending sequence where we play the equivalent of this. When he's played that descending fours sequence in scales before, we play something that looks like that, but we get this. It's going to run like this. We play 15, 12, 9, 15 on the next string. Then we play 12, 9, 15, 12. So we get this. Then we play 9, followed by B string, 15, 12, 9. So far we've got this. We'll finish it up by playing 15, 12, 9, 15 on the G string, 12. This. Now that is not the most complicated lick to play once you get your fingers around it. It's not that much more difficult, in theory, than this, which I proceeded to fluff, but you get the idea. But it's much more difficult than this. Because there's a little thing in there that disrupts our ear. Now, it also makes the lick interesting, but the thing that disrupts our ear here is we get this. This business where this note is on a lower string, but it is higher in pitch than the note on the previous string. Which is why when we play it slowly, it's tricky in a way that this is not. The reason for this is our little disruption there. This note is not where we expect it to be. We expect to hear that note higher, but we're playing on a string that's lower. It's disrupted our ear to fretboard connection, if you want to call it that. I'm thinking like mind-muscle connection here, but you get the idea. The ear fretboard connection, right? Marcin says stretchy stuff. I agree, right? Stretchy stuff can be a total pain in the neck, right? Especially if you play in the rock and roll position, which I do not. I play here. Why? Because you're always flexing just a little bit, right? It's the hey, a little bit of fat, got a wee little bit of muscle. I'm going to play here. Always flexing. Makes the good bits look good and hides the bad bits, which is why the guitar is large. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not why I sit left leg, I promise. Although nobody wants to see my belly. But anyway, this is neither here nor there. Regardless, I've already said that. So that's one of the reasons why this is difficult. And one of the reasons why... oh, here's an interesting one. Another fun stuff, says Sick Rotslayer, I find it easier to play the Nuno lick than the classic descending fourths. Well, that is interesting. That is interesting. I think you might be an anomaly here. I think you might be in the minority, because most people I show this to have the opposite experience. They feel like the Nuno lick is way harder than the descending fourths because of that disruption in ear. But hey, that is very interesting. The more my hand is cramped, the harder I find to play stuff. Okay, so maybe instead of doing that here, maybe we compare it to the equivalent of here, where we play, or even this. We're playing the same thing with roughly the equivalent stretch. Here I'm playing 7, 5, and 3. Certainly challenging, but either way, it's a fun lick. It's a really cool lick. It's a fun thing to be able to play. That's an example of that sort of deal. So, we have taken some time to address why ear training. Now let's get into how ear training. And that's going to be the bulk of the next 2 streams as well. We're going to talk an awful lot about how, but we haven't given you a great deal of how so far. We've just basically told you ear training is good. And hopefully I've sold you on the idea. Stacey Griffin says, got tabs for that, brother. Lol. I have not. I have not. For sure. Here we go. I can't match you one tone. You play a note. I can not find it on my guitar. Tell me it's on the A string. I still cannot find it. Interesting. Yeah, it's Stacey Griffin. Just kidding. Right. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. But yeah, thing is, tab is cool, right? Tab is cool. There's nothing wrong with tab. But tab on its own, well, it's kind of half the thing. I used the analogy a couple of streams ago, actually, which I was quite proud of. It came like that, and I'm like, I'm remembering this. I'm going to use it again. I'm going to use it again now. Tab is a little bit like reading the script for a TV show that you're going to watch. You'll get the gist of it, but, you know, you probably won't get the subtleties. You'll end up with that. Has everybody seen that great scene with it's Kevin Sorbo as Hercules, where it ran parallel to Xena Warrior Princess, and there's this fantastic scene where he reads the screen directions, and he wakes up and he goes like, whatever it is, his character wakes up out of a trance or a sleep or time travel or something, and he goes, wait a minute. This isn't my time. And then he shouts, disappointed, because that is written in big bold letters in the script. And it's along the lines of that Anchorman thing where it's like, you know, if you put it on the order queue, Burgundy will read it. It's one of those. Tab can be a little like that, where we can, I'm not just going on an anti-tab rant. I think tab is cool, and it's very cool for communicating certainly non-musical concepts. If you're communicating exercises, tremendous, great. But we can miss the music with that stuff, which is another thing with ear training that we'll get onto. Anyway, so with regard to ear training, here's some ways that we can develop our ear training. We can develop our ear. We're going to begin with some exercises where we sing and we play. Now, luckily for you, I'll be doing some singing where you can hear it, but I can't hear you. So if you're a great singer, magic. But for most of us out there who are maybe a little shy about singing, don't worry. You don't need to sing this super loud. People won't hear you. You can mumble it under your breath. You can just imagine things really loud. Did that make sense? Imagine something really loud? I think you know what I mean, though. I think you know what I mean. So we're going to do this with some pentatonic scale stuff. And the way we're going to play this is we're going to play a phrase, and the phrase is going to be 6 notes long, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to sing the next note that you play at the end of the phrase. Play 6 notes, sing 1, and then try and play the same phrase again, but play the last note. And you're going to make it up. It's going to be improvisation. So it's going to look and sound something like this. We're on the key of C. Here is C minor pentatonic. We get this. We go 11, 8, 11, 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 11, 8. I'm going to play 6 notes. I'm going to sing the next note. I'm going to go like this. I'll go. That's where I'm going to go. Sounds a bit, okay, and I'm going to play this. I'll go. Good. Nice. I nailed it. Okay, let's go again. I'm going to play 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That works. I'll do another. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go. I'm going to go. Nice. Okay, we're going to do this again. You're going to get some chances to do this stuff. So I'm going to give you 6 notes, sing the last one, like we did today, just now, and then try again and see if you can play it. I'm going to go. Yeah, I like that. That works. You take a turn. Any 6 notes, doesn't have to be fast. Sing the 7th note, then do the whole thing again and try and play it. It's a fun exercise. It's not the only exercise, just one fun way to develop this stuff. I'm going to do it again this time. I'm going to go like this. There's 6. Nice. I got it. You take a turn. What did I get there? I got the raised 6 because ignoring. Okay, let's move on to another, right? Let's move on to another thing. I am going to play 6 notes. We're going to see if you can sing the next, right? See if you can sing the next. I'm going to tell you what the note is, and we'll see if you can sing it. I'm going to play 6 notes. The note that we're going to follow on from is fret number 11 on the E string. That's the note we're going to play. So I'm going to go like this. See if you can sing the note that follows. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again. I'm going to play it this time, see if you've got it. Did you get it? It's a little high, so maybe we'll do a low one. This time we're going to sing the note 6 on the low E string. The lick is going to go like this. See if you can sing that. I'll play it this time. Did you get it? Okay, let's do another exercise. These are fun. I like these a lot. Let's do another. This time what we're going to do is with your guitar in hand, I am going to sing a note and I want to see if you can play the note. I'm going to sing it. I want to see if you can play it. So I'll go like this. See if you can play it. Let's see if we get it right this time. Did you get it? Let's go again. Same thing. This time I'm going to play it 6 notes. I'm going to sing another one. I want to see if you can play the note that I'm singing. I'm going to go like this. There we go. Everybody tuning in right now is going to think this is really weird, but it's a fun exercise, right? I'll go again. Did you get it? Did you recognize it? The blue note. Well done, well done. We got some good ears in the room tonight, right? Some good ears in the room tonight. So, some questions then. So we did a few exercises there. First thing, how good were you guys? How well did you do? How well did you do at the first one where we played 6 notes and then imagined what note we were going to play next, right? Imagined the note we were going to play next. Did you manage it? Did you manage to imagine a note, first of all? Were you actually able to imagine a note or sing it or whatever without actually playing the thing? Secondly, were you then able to play that note? Were you able to reproduce the thing that we're trying to create? So we go, ba, 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 ba. And there was a note we had in our mind. Did we go? Marcin says, went pretty good, actually. Okay, tremendous. Pleased about that. That's really good. Okay, these are some, I guess, some nice introductions to this stuff. You can go deeper with this, and we will. If you want a fully fledged course on this subject, by the way, do not forget, today's sponsored course is ear training for the practical ear training for musicians by Levi Clay. It is available at the link down below. We also have one for chords. It's money. Cranker Thompson is about 50%. That's okay, right? That's really good. Now, the thing with this is, if you're able to do this at all, if you're able to do this even the slightest, right, then you're winning, right? You're winning. Because then you can develop it, right? If you go, I can't imagine a note, we got bigger problems. So here's the next one, right? I want you to imagine for a second, take a second and imagine out loud the riff from Smoke on the Water. Imagine how that sounds, right? Take a second and imagine the riff from Smoke on the Water. We all know how to play the riff from Smoke on the Water, right? Do we? I'm sure we do, right? Maybe we play it up the E string, because that's the first thing every guitar player learns, with your thumb over the top of the neck. We're not going to do that. In case anybody's missing, right, I'm sure you all know, if you all want to get kicked out of guitar stores, this is the riff to play. Probably not so much anymore, but it's one of them. The riff goes as follows. It's the middle two strings. We play both strings open, both strings on 3, both strings on 5, open 3, 6, 5, open 3, 5, 3, open. You can hear it. I'm sure you can. Let's play it together. And I'm not going to play. You're going to play with me. Ready? A 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear it? Did you play it? Let's play it together. Play Smoke in the Water on stream. Who knew? Ready? A 1, 2, 3, 5. It's a fun riff, but how loud did you imagine that riff? How clearly did you envisage that riff? And what I mean by how clearly is, how well did you do with imagining things like the duration of each note? Did you imagine that some of the notes were shorter? Did you imagine the little gaps of air between each note? Did you end up with this? Which is fine. It starts to sound a bit more like Delta Blues at that point. My G string is very slightly out of tune. I'm going to tune up. Let me just go. Notice nobody ever says tune down. Unless you are tuning down, you better tune up. It's because we tune up to the pitch. Otherwise, the string sticks in the nut if you have a bone nut like me. Anyway, did you imagine this? Or did you imagine this? Or did you imagine this? What was the difference? What was the difference? Right, well, the difference was not just the notes and the order they came in, but the quality of the notes. How long were they? How snappy was the attack? How bright was the attack? How loud was the G string relative to the D string? How big were those little air spaces between notes? Which notes had air spaces? Was there an air space between 6 and 5? Was there an air space between 3 and 0? Where did we leave the little gaps? Did we leave a gap here? Or did we go like this? Did we go? Did we go? Did we go? Did we go? Or did we go? Now this is also another facet of your ear training that is super, super important, which is to pay attention to the sound of the notes you're producing and to learn to be really intentional, not just about playing the notes, but about all of the qualitative values or the qualitative parts of the note that really separate playing notes on the guitar from playing music. There's a big difference. There is a big difference, and we've all heard it. We've all experienced it ourselves, where we play something and you go, hey, that sounds great. Or when you play something and go, why doesn't it sound like the record? I'm trying to play Smoke in the Water and it just doesn't sound quite right. This bit where he goes, why does that not sound quite right when I'm going? I'm playing. Why does it sound different? Well, it sounds different because there is a difference in the attack. There is a difference in the quality of the note. Is it bright? Is it dull? Are we hitting it with a little more thumb, a little less thumb? Are we hitting it with a staccato attack? Are we using our pick? Are we using our finger? Etc, etc, etc. This example serves to highlight one of the more important aspects of ear training, and it goes back to that analogy of the ear being the musician's equivalent of the artist's eye. A great artist doesn't just see the colour and the shape, they see deep, important details that you and I miss until we look at a great work of art and go, man, look at that brushstroke. Look at the way he's captured the light in this animal's pupil or whatever it is that this artist is recreating. I am not an artist, right? And I'm definitely not a photographer, let me tell you. But things like that, look at these hairs up here. Look at the way the artist has captured those flyaway hairs, because Nick has come straight from the gym and hasn't had enough time to manicure himself ahead of these streams. You get the gist, right? Leaning into this sort of business, man, that is going to take you from being a player who can play, a capable player, through to a really legitimately excellent player. And it's the difference between, I won't say the difference between the men and the boys, but it's the difference between people who can play and the likes of an Andy Timmins. Let's say we've all tried to play Andy Timmins stuff. We've tried to play Jeff Beck stuff. We've tried to play insert guitar player here with great feel, David Gilmour. And we wonder, why do they sound so much better than us? Well, it's because they pay attention, I think at least, to the quality of these notes. But it's not just the slow stuff. Paul Gilbert talks about this a lot as well. So if you shredders out there, let's take a look at, for example, the Paul Gilbert exercise. The Paul Gilbert exercise, which is this. It's everyone's favorite picking exercise, even though it's only good for one very specific aspect of picking, but it is a lot of fun. The exercise is this. In this instance, we're playing it on the D string, the A string. We can play it any combination of strings we want, but we're playing 5 in the D string, and then 8, 6, 5, 6, 8 on the A string. Paul has a really interesting way of teaching this. He says, when you're playing this stuff, don't think so much about the pick and where it's going. Focus on the quality of the notes and listen to it unplugged. Does it sound clicky like this? Or does it chug like a cello? That shunk, 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 shunk sound that a cello has. When Paul plays, that chuggy cello sound is very apparent, but as soon as you focus your attention to that, if you go, focus your attention to the chug of the cello, focus your attention to the snap of the pull-off, focus your attention to some sonic quality of what it is you're playing, it's astonishing how much better your technique gets. So the ear becomes very important for this too. Your ear becomes very important for not just the slow stuff, but also the quick stuff. So we're going to do another exercise. This time we're going to play. We're going to play some improvised stuff. We're going back to C minor pentatonic. C minor pentatonic is fun. It's Dorian if anybody wants to go a little bit further. You can layer the melodic minor in there if you like, but that's totally up to you. We'll talk about that continuum another time. We've talked about it before on stream. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun thing to do. Here is our mission with this. It's another ear exercise. We're going to play some lines, and we're going to play some stuff that you would consider simple. This is your mission. You are going to play some stuff that you personally, dear viewer, would consider simple. What that means, who knows? One person's simple is another person's, I could never play that with a year of study, right? I know this because I saw Matteo Mancuso recently, and I'm like, well, okay, you know, that guy clearly has extra fingers, but they're on this hand, so that doesn't explain all of this. Anyway, but yeah, absolute freak. Guy's crazy. And, you know, just really relaxed, chilling. It's lovely. But whatever it is that you would consider simple, that's what we're going to play. And I will do the same. I'm going to play some stuff that I would consider reasonably simple. Right? I'm going to throw the backing track on. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play... Don't worry about whether that's simple for you or not. Whatever is simple for you is going to be different for somebody else. But here is our mission. Here is our goal with this, right? Our goal is to take these lines, and as we play them, we're going to inhabit these licks as deeply as we can. We're going to see if we can really embody the quality of the notes that we want. When do we want them to start? When do we want them to stop? We're going to make these notes the best notes that we can possibly play. This does not mean just play them harder. That's not how it works. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to try and really inhabit those notes. I'm going to play. Now, in doing so, it may not be the solo that makes the album, but I'm paying attention to things that matter. Duration, timing, intonation, articulation, attack, release, all that sort of stuff. You're going to do the same. So, let's see how deeply we can inhabit these notes, like we did with our Smoke on the Water example. I'm going to play. Take a turn. These are new strings, so I'm going to tune up while you're doing it. So focus your attention on really, really embodying the quality of these notes. I'm going to simplify my next example even more, but see how much more rewarding it is when you play this way. When you really live inside these notes, you really pay attention. I'm going to go like this. You take a turn. Simple phrases. We're not playing anything complicated here, but really live inside that phrase. Really pay attention to the qualities of each note. I'm going to go. You take a turn. You can hear when my brain switched off there. You can hear when I looked at the comment section. Right? You can hear this in a lot of my playing on these streams. I'll go like this. Take a turn, really live inside those notes. I'm not expecting this to be genius straight away, so if it takes a bit of effort, don't worry. That's normal, that's okay. We're going to pull that out there. That is another exercise that we can use. Our intentional focus, our attentional focus as well, I guess, on the qualities of the notes we're playing. Are we really, really, really hearing what these notes are? Do we really hear them? Or are we just breezing them by? Are we just playing, yep, that's the right note, tick the box. The bouncy ball on the app said yes. No slur on apps that have bouncy balls, but would not recommend. Anyway, whatever, who knows, not for me. I'm not the target audience there. So this is, again, the difference between playing the notes and really playing. This is where your feel comes from. It's where your ability to play cleanly comes from. It's where your ability to improvise fluently comes from. It's also where your ability to recall phrases comes from, but that's another story for another day. Folks, this has been a big discussion on the why of ear training, but we've got 2 more sessions on this, right? Super important. Hopefully I've sold you on the idea that ear training is something you should take seriously. We've got courses on the subject, links down below in the doobly-doo. Go hit the thing, you know where to find them. In the meantime, let's answer some questions. So we've got some questions coming in. I'm going to start with this one. If you have questions, drop them down below. I'd love to hear from you, right? And also let me know how you get on with these exercises, right? If you find them interesting, useful, let us know. While you're there, don't forget to hit the buttons that tell the algorithm that you found it useful. Otherwise, the algorithm will assume you didn't and will fail to feed you more content like this from us. While you're there, subscribe on whatever channel you're watching on. Then go to the other channel. Subscribe to that one too. Anyway, so great one for Sacred God Slayer says, do you consider timing as ear training or on another skill tree? No, absolutely. I feel like timing is a huge facet of ear training. It's just like, it's a massive part of the ear training puzzle. And your ability to hear things and relate them to time is, again, it's like the flip side of the pitch thing, right? Pitch and time, we spend a lot of time focusing on the pitched elements of playing as musicians. As guitar players, certainly, because we're harmonic instruments, right? We're also melodic instruments. We're also accompanying instruments. So we spend a lot of time really living in the pitch world, the pitch-centric world. But time is, as I'm hopefully have espoused in the last example, time is every bit as important as pitch when it comes to developing your ear, and it's something you should absolutely pay close attention to. Let's see if we can do this, right? Let's see if we can do some fun time stuff. We're going to improvise in this instance on the C minor pentatonic scale, but this time we're going to restrict ourselves to only improvising on the quarter note. Bop, 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 bop. Just like that. How's that? I got the tempo right. What are the chances? I didn't get the counting right, but I got the tempo right. Okay, improvising on the quarter. I'm going into fusion land right now, but you get the idea. Okay, now we've done improvising on the quarter. Can we improvise on the off 8 notes? Can we make it smooth? Staccato. Can we do it as a combination of the two? What about on the 16? Bap, 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 bap. So on and so forth. That's a little more challenging. What about on the last 16s where we go bap, 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 bap. No, that's harder. That's really hard. I need to work on that, right? But it's also been a very long day. It's been a very, I can't begin to tell you how long a day it's been. So perhaps my timing powers are not what they should be. But you get the idea, right? Our ability to command time is intimately tied to our ability to hear time, your ability to perceive this and hear it. Here are some great comments coming in, right? So let's go to this. This is Daryl Queen saying, I feel like my ear training, both intervallic and rhythmic, is bolstered greatly by trying to learn vocal, piano, and horn melodies. Makes you rely on your ear and not just memorize guitar cliches. Absolutely, especially if, as a few people in the comments have alluded to, you do it by ear, because oftentimes there aren't tab for the vocal melody to insert song here, or the horn solo, or any of that sort of stuff. But also, it doesn't allow us to rely on shape in the same way that we maybe do with some of our guitar playing. And there is nothing wrong with that. I'm a big fan of shape, right? Shape is fine. There's nothing wrong with shape. That's how we locate things on the guitar. But being able to hear a piece and go, that's that, you know, what's the horn solo from Hungry Eyes go like? Key of F. So what I assume it goes like that. I think that's the deal. What does that go like? What does the I keep coming back to Africa. Let's not do Africa. What is the what are the chords from The Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby and the Range? What do they sound like? This a little quiet. Let me just turn on some compression. Yeah. So on and so forth. What about that lovely lead melody where we go like this? Can we recognize that? Can we play it? Yeah. Sure. Now, yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a really, really important step. Here is a great one from Cowcat saying, Timothy Appling, generation of cassette replay multiple times until he got the Violic or whatever. Or, more importantly, until he got something that resembled the Violic but belonged to you. It was something where you go, I've kind of got this, but I feel like I've got something that's, you know, my interpretation of this. I've done this loads where I've kind of given up on learning the lick accurately because I feel like I've got something cool out of it and I'm like, oh, I like this better. Feels better to my hand, etc., etc. Totally agree, right? Learning songs, by listening. Very, very cool, very important. Also, this is one of the reasons why, if you want to learn songs, tuition works so well, which we've got. If you want tuition on songs, licklibrary.com, right? Go there. We've got unbelievable amounts of songs. You should go learn some. They're great, because learning from a tutor, learning this stuff with your ear as your focal point, along with some guidance from someone like Sam Bell, for example, or someone like Danny Gill, etc., it does wonders for your playing. It's exciting, it's important stuff. Now, folks, unfortunately, we have run shy of our hour together, but fear not, because we've got a whole 2 hours coming up. We've got 2 more streams on this subject. If you want some of the best tuition you will ever see on this topic, go to the link down below, grab Levi Clay's ear training courses. They are killer. Start with the one with the link down below, and then move on to the one with chords, or do them the other way around. I'm not your dad. You can do whatever you want. But, you know, you get the gist, right? They're both really, really cool. They are absolutely worth your time. I'll be spending some time with them too, because why not? This stuff is always worth a touch-up, right? You're never the finished article. And that's good. It means we can always keep learning. So, folks, I'm going to bid you adieu. I will see you next week for another topic on the subject of developing your ears with some more concrete advice. But for the time being, hopefully this has planted the seed in your mind that learning to use your ear a little more and have, you know, a better grasp of your ear and etc. and its relationship to music. Hopefully we've sold you on that idea, and hopefully we've got you excited about this, so when we see you next week, we'll be able to give you all sorts of cool new stuff. In the meantime, go to the link down below for the featured course, go to licklibrary.com, go to guitarinteractivemagazine.com for the latest issue, where you'll find interviews, news, reviews, gear, all that good stuff. Licklibrary.com for all of your lessons, including today's sponsored course, Levi Clay's ear training courses. They are great. My name's Nick Jennison. It's the Monday Guitar Show. We'll be back next Monday, where we will hang out and talk some more about the guitar. In the meantime, let's play loads of notes over the same backing track, because it's a good backing track and I like it. I'll see you guys next week. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your evening, if it's still an evening that you got left, if you're somewhere in the world. If not, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you next Monday. Let's play. Leaning over to turn my pedal on and I bend it.